different people at different times have the things they go with on that. So
yeah, I really wish Disney would bring it back, because even if it wasn't making all that much money then, now that it's been shut down for a while, it would definitely start making a lot real quickly.
Aren't they putting out another Pirates movie? I'm pretty sure they are, so I would imagine that it would come out with that.
I hope it has no recurring characters except minor ones.
I know, but it probably will. I'm predicting Jack Sparrow once again.
Oh, jeez. I loved the Jack Sparrow character, but if they have
for the first movie, it was great. The second one, it was pushing it.
The first movie was an absolute masterpiece. I loved that.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
Especially when you think of it, it came on the heels of the Haunted Mansion. It was like, oh, this could go so wrong.
Disney just took a big kick in the nuts, and then they came out with that one.
What I thought was funny was that, I'm trying to remember,
maybe that's
there was a cracked article that was talking about that the video game that was Pirates of the Caribbean, the Black Pearl, was based on one of the video games that was out. But to go totally Inception-wise, that game was based on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, which theoretically was what the movie should have been based on. I go the same way as I start talking about with D&D. You know, D&D was the basic one. Then we go ahead and put an online version of it, World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Then we go ahead and release 4.0 to look like World of Warcraft, run like the video game that was based on the tabletop. Why wouldn't I just play the tabletop?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Different format, I guess.
Different format, different way of looking at it. And, you know, and you think about it in terms of games that are made into movies and vice versa. Battleship. Sorry. Okay? Short of the one. No, that's the only scene that was worth the whole movie, so.
Battleship. What a fucking train wreck. What was that movie?
Was Liam Neeson in that?
Yes,
he was the Admiral.
That's what I figured.
Who decided that he should be a badass? They made a good call, but who decided that Liam Neeson...
He just seemed to get into those roles.
I was at...
everything post Star Wars at 1.
Yeah.
Before that, he was nothing. But after that, oh yeah, he was everywhere.
He was the only actor in The Phantom Menace that didn't just completely phone it in.
Exactly.
Like,
really
Ewan
worked
McGregor and Natalie Portman are both, like, Oscar nominees, possibly winners, and they just had awful performances.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson is just, like, you know, badassing it up in, like, the entirety of that movie.
Which is why I'm going with that. Part of that, the things I read on it anyway are talking about how George Lucas had so much more control on that than what he had on the original trilogy. Because the original trilogy, it was the guys they brought in to do the directing and all that really had the control. That's not the way it was in Phantom Menace and the other ones.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Star Wars 7 because he won't be involved in it anymore. He can sit on the side and let it go.
I was really looking forward to it until the trailer and all the, like, it's a very common viewpoint, and I'm not being fancy or, like, new or whatever with my point of view. Like, everyone has my point of view, I guess, or something. Like, just the really... I lost interest on those really campy things they put in the trailer. The stupid lightsaber.
Why? You know, okay, yeah, it has a lightsaber crossguard. If you look at the way people fight... with swords in the past, yeah, it kind of made sense. Yeah, kind of, but the sword fighting with the lightsaber in the first place has been bad. You look at the sword fighting they had in number 1, where you had Obi-Wan, one hit across, and his body evaporated because he went into the Force. Yeah. There wasn't anything even close to it in the next 5 movies. Okay? Why now would we be getting back to the thing? Count Dooku. You know, he did... much more of the finesse type sword fencing. Yeah, he was a duelist. He was fencing. Fine. Why didn't he have a crossguard then? There's not a fencing sword around that didn't have something.
Yeah, he had sort of a crossguard. It was more a style thing.
Yes, exactly, because the lightsaber would have been able to cut through whatever it was unless it was lightsaber. Yeah. Now that's why we have the one on the new one.
Although the KOTOR universe does have vibro blades.
Yeah.
Which are just blades that vibrate really fast so that you can fight lightsabers with them. And
that was actually taken from, it was either Metamorphosis Alpha, which was the sci-fi based D&D spin-off, or Barrier Peaks, or White Plume Mountain. I can't remember which, White Plume Mountain I think it was, that had the basis of that. They test drove it on, basically. One of those had vibroblades with it based on that.
That's cool.
Which goes back, also there was a cartoon back in the late 70s, early 80s, Thundar the Barbarian. And it was post-World War III. They had a guy that looked like Chewbacca running around. They rode on horses, but there were some guys that had cars that were pulled by horses and all that. But him as the Barbarian, which Barbarian means fur vest, fur briefs. He's a barbarian. He had bracers, and he had just a hilt that was on here, and he pulled it off, and the blade shot out of the top of it. It was a cool idea, stolen completely from Star Wars, but it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
My concern with Star Wars 7 is that I think it's just going to be like Duke Nukem Forever and Half-Life 3, and that everyone's just going to hype it up for the next year, and then when it comes out, it's never going to meet their expectations because nothing ever could.
Oh, it'll be like on Phantom Menace and the rest. For the first 3 or 4 months, it'll have all the hype of how fantastic it was. I'm so glad they finally made it, and then it'll be like, but, it really wasn't, Empire Strikes Back good.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because when Empire Strikes Back came out, it wasn't Star Wars good. So, it's just, looking backwards, they always look better.
I like, I do look forward to seeing it being original trilogy based with new special effects and stuff, because Luke Skywalker is supposed to be, in all Star Wars lore that you read and stuff, he's supposed to be the most powerful Jedi ever. And they couldn't really show it then. It was just kind of oh, I killed Darth Vader. Like
exactly.
RuneScape style combat.
Yeah. And now with special effects, it's going to be like, oh, he's just immensely powerful with the Force. At least that's what I'm hoping we're going to see. And it's not supposed to be like he's super well trained, because he wasn't. It was mostly self-training. A little bit of help from Yoda. Yeah,
Yoda gave you the startup, but in general, he had to come up with it on his own.
He just has this huge inborn talent.
And that's why I want to see where they're going with it. The expanded universe versus what they decide to put in the movie to make it canon. How does he train his kids and Leia's kids? How does he take that next level? Which is what kills me is all the Jedi starting off now are all children of Jedi or Jedi families, but Jedi don't marry. Oh, that's right. We got rid of that, but that was just part of the old thing.
Yeah.
He should have been just a master if that's the way you wanted to follow that level of it.
There's this game, Jedi Academy, that takes place in the New Republic, which is like run by Luke, and there's a new Jedi Order, and they just bring in people who are Force sensitive and train them.
Have high metachlorian counts and all the rest of it.
When did they involve that, and why were people pissed off when they involved that?
Metachlorians? That was added as part of the Phantom Menace. Up till then, you had the Force. You were strong with the Force. It just was. There was no way to read it and count it. But they had to say, how do we say this kid should be taken in for training? Okay, we could either do a quick blood test, or we can put him through all these mental skills and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So,
I like to think that
I
like to think that they should have left that out, because Qui-Gon Jinn was technically a Jedi Knight, but they always say that he's not a master because he didn't want to be a master.
He was a master. He wasn't part of the council.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, master means he's allowed to have apprentices. A knight doesn't have an apprentice.
I like to think that he is such a master that he's able to just kind of, dang.
Yep. The way that they had Qui-Gon using the Force was so much better than they had Luke using the Force. So I agree with you. I want to be able to see what they have with Luke able to do the thing. I mean, the whole idea of, and I sit there for a second before the string can basically yank it over to my hand. Okay, that's old technology. Let's move beyond that now.
Yeah. I want to see him. I want to see him like, I don't know, like Yoda thing from. I loved the movie Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
I loved it just because of how good the special effects were in it.
Yes.
Yoda holding up all that rubble and stuff. I want to see. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was so
they
cool.
really let Yoda finally show what he could do. When they finally let him unleash the lightning. Oh, only the dark side has lightning. No, it's only the people that are strong enough have lightning.
Yeah. I like that. Like, there's Count Dooku introduced. Like Count Dooku, like you sit there with. He's got his dueling saber. He's a really good swordsman. No one could beat him like that. And then he's also got the Force lightning, and Yoda's just like, oh, I'll just fucking throw it back at you. I don't care. I'm way better.
The thing that bothers me about Star Wars is that there's no exploration of the morality of the dark side and the light side at all, because it's the dark side and the light side.
You either do something really horrible.
Jedi are good, absolutely, no question there, and the Sith are bad, even though the Jedi literally kidnap children from their families to train them to be warriors. Like, how is that not an immoral action? But yet the Sith are the bad ones.
That's why I love KOTOR and like the Old Republic lore and stuff, and even like can't remember what they're called now. You were talking about them earlier in that Humble Bundle. The ones where you're Kyle Katarn and the
Dark Forces.
Dark Forces, yeah. He's like, I think he was like originally like a stormtrooper, and he's like a bad person, I guess, but he's able to use the Force, and like for a while you just kind of like run around like force a jump, and like you just got a blaster rifle, and like it's really cool. And then you like he becomes a Jedi later on, and I don't know. Yeah. It's like exploring other moralities and like showing that, because they always say the Jedi forgive and stuff, but they always end up killing the bad guys.
Yes,
and
they always do what's right with killing the bad guys.
The Jedi are
the first time where they actually like. Yeah.
Yes. When Mace Windu is pairing off against the Emperor, he's really showing what it's like. No, we can't wait for the trial. Okay, that when you're talking to someone who is already wondering whether or not you're doing things right in the first place, that was the worst possible thing to do. But it was the right thing to do for his character.
Yeah.
In that moment, he is absolutely right. If we try to contain him, we can't. He's got too much power. It's only going to be ending up bad. Mm-hmm. But
also. Yeah, Mace Windu was the wrong person for Anakin to see handle that situation.
Yes.
Although that was exactly how Mace Windu should have handled it. He's a Jedi Guardian. They're combat specialists. They're like, we're going to neutralize the threat. Mm-hmm. Like, it was really cool.
To put it in the terms of Ender's Game, I'm going to eliminate all future challenges also. Yep, that's what you're doing. I'm not winning this battle. I'm winning every battle from here on out by doing this one the right way the first time.
Yeah, like... They always sort of portray it in the movies and stuff. KOTOR really like gave it like class names. KOTOR it's just like D20 video game of Star Wars.
KOTOR
is really
wonderful.
Yeah,
it's so in depth.
You've got your Jedi Consular, which is like Yoda. It's really strong in the Force, really wise. And you don't focus so much on using your lightsaber as being smart and stuff. Jedi Sentinel is like sort of jack of all trades. I can hack into computers. I can do all this stuff. I can fight with lightsabers well enough. Then there's Jedi Guardian, which is just really
straight
strong.
In your face. Knight versus secret agent versus yeah.
It's really great. It's a really great way to break up the classes, and
KOTOR is, I think, definitely the first game I remember having choice involved in a game. Like KOTOR, I don't know, they like put some effort into having choices. Like your choices actually mattered quite a bit.
There's actually repercussions for the choices.
If you pick the wrong choice, you can fall to the dark side.
Mm-hmm. You fall to the dark side. People will abandon your cause and just leave your crew. People will like try to kill you. Mm-hmm. They will turn against you.
And then there's people who will join you. Mm-hmm. Atten is just, I love him. It's just. You do anything, he's like, yeah. He's like your apprentice in that, pretty much. He's a smuggler that you meet, and you find out he's really strong in the Force.
Is that 2 or 1?
This is 2.
Okay.
I always talk about KOTOR 2 for some reason, probably because I play it more.
1 was the one I played more.
Yeah, I was say I never played 2.
Yeah, and
1 it was so much easier to win.
And 1
and win with the dark side. You were so much more powerful with the dark side because you got life drain stuff, and Force Lightning was wonderful.
I forgot that in KOTOR 1 it's a completely different. In KOTOR 2, you can train people to be Jedi because your character is an exiled Jedi Knight, who is really strong in the Force because of your ability to disconnect yourself from it entirely, to not be affected by it at all. Like you can, and because you're able to disconnect and reconnect yourself at will, although it doesn't seem at will, like your body just does it to protect itself. It just gives you a great strength, and like that, the main bad guy is also like your greatest ally, sort of in that game. And she's like trying to get you to like cut all Jedi from the Force. It's really weird and neat. there's a lot of cool background story that's like not directly. They don't ever directly say it, but if you sit there just like going through the dialogue enough, you're just like they're totally just talking about this. And
that's good when it can be written that well. So,
yeah.
Not just seem like a video game. It's if you go in here, something's going to happen.
The writing for KOTOR 1 is the most wonderful thing. Like, the story arc of it, especially the ending twist, which I know probably you haven't ever played it.
What?
So
I've beaten it.
You've beaten KOTOR 1?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the twist at the end is fucking fantastic.
I mean, we're not getting into spoiler territory. That game's been out for God knows how long.
I've never played it.
Well, that's your
Well, if
problem.
you want
not
to,
mine.
I think it's in the office.
Yeah, it is. I think you have the CD, but God knows that thing's probably not going to work too great.
Yeah.
KOTOR,
4 separate CDs for a
KOTOR 2,
game.
Well, one of them you had the first CD went bad, and that was the one you always had to
Mm-hmm.
put in to get it to work. So it was like,
Yeah, it
I've
was
got
the one
CD,
on
but it
that. I
won't.
remember we tried installing it on that desktop, and it'd show the splash art, and then it'd be like, no.
I know. KOTOR 2, you could have your character, say, Atten, that character. You can have him with you, and you can have him be full light side like you. You can have him be full dark side like you. Some people will have set moralities, like, and some people will have ones that change with you or like opposing you maybe. Atten, like, you can also train him to be a Jedi, but you could just have him be like a really good guy who uses blasters. Or you can train him to be a Jedi and have him be either a Jedi, or if your character's on the dark side, you train him the ways of the Sith. And like
that's good that the character adapts to what you decide he's going to do with it.
Yeah, and like their Sith, and their class, like their as like Consular, Sentinel, Knight, and like that sort of thing is based on their like personality, and it's really cool.
That's the only qualm I really have with DDO, is your alignment.
Yep.
Essentially doesn't mean shit.
It means you can't get certain things. I had to go and pay for an alignment change because it was something I really wanted the character to do. Can't remember which one it even was. But I couldn't make him do that because, your alignment's wrong for it.
Like having to be lawful.
I can't remember if it was I had to be lawful or I had to be chaotic. Something that I was trying to get him to do, I couldn't do based on that little piece. And I was like, that just annoys me.
Yeah.
I much rather the free flow. I mean, I'm an old school liking the 9 alignments, okay, that I identify with them all the time. I will give you the argument of why Batman could be any one of them on any given day.
Yeah.
So but
he's too chaotic.
He's too chaotic, yeah. But yet he's following his law. He's got his own inner code. I like that concept without having it as a make or break. The whole idea of lawful stupid. No, you can be a lawful good for the good of the people without having to obey every single thing all the time.
Yeah.
So,
That's...
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I was going to say, it's where the flexibility is in it of how you can yet help it identify yourself. Dragonlance series of books. Fantastic series of books. They have the Order of Knights of Salami. Now I can't think of what...
Cilantro?
Thank you. That's why I can't think of it. It's because that. Solibus. Anyway, they have the Knight Order, okay? It's a really great written up Knight Order, as if they're to be paladins, but there's not a lot of divine magic in Kryn at all. That's part of the whole base of the book, is trying to find divine magic again. So, but they're all lawful good in the way they do it. Some of the characters specifically, though, ain't all that lawful. Maybe not all that good. But, again... A paladin, you stop acting lawful good, you lose your powers. Well, these are just knights.
Yeah.
But what I really liked about it is they had the concept of the anti-paladin trying in the first set of books, and they were chaotic evil, the exact opposite of lawful good. Well, chaotic evil will always eat itself, is kind of the idea. Fine. Second series of books comes out. Instead, lawful evil. They have someone that was captured by the... knights in the first place, studied them, learned how they did everything, and realized it's the lawful that matters to keep it together and get your point across. But we can still be evil. And it was a definite better way of writing that. And when I read that, it made me stop and rethink my idea of anti-paladin. Yeah, you're right. To be a true paladin of any type, you've got to be unlawful.
I'm pretty sure when I built mine that one time, he was lawful evil.
Mm-hmm. It just makes sense to have it that way.
What were you gonna say?
This whole morality thing is one of the hugest problems I have with games progressing these days. Look, we're being topical. With RPGs especially, your decisions do not matter at all.
That's
There
that
are
was
no consequences.
That was Fable's biggest selling point. Was like, yeah, you can do what you want to, and there will be consequences. But it's one of the games that your consequences, yeah, they matter, and you can see it in your character when you make them.
Let's not hate on Fable.
But no, I'm just saying, it wasn't like KOTOR where it changed the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline kept going regardless of what you did. There are small changes.
In KOTOR and KOTOR 2, there's an overall story arc that you're
Sure.
not going to change. This is going to happen. But then there's all these ways that you get to that sort of change.
Granted,
Which I kind of like. I like where there is an end point that's set, and it's just how you get there that matters.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's cool.
Telltale, they do really well on your decisions change the entirety of the story. Like, I know people who talk about playing the Walking Dead games, they are like, this person's still alive for you, or this happened for you? What the heck?
Yeah, like they think that it happened, that
the game is really linear.
Because people think that's how the games go now. And
But
it's totally how you play.
again, what they sacrifice a lot of game mechanics in order to be able to tell the stories as well
because
as they
The
can.
Walking Dead is a very simplified game.
It's like when you, and what I've heard anyway, I've never played it.
We're talking about the Telltale game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Telltale Walking Dead series.
It's so good.
When you do get in combat, it's just like kind of point and click.
Kind of
Combat.
QTE stuff.
Yeah.
It's really not much.
It's
of anything.
more
it's what
to
matters.
yeah,
It's important.
because to be honest, they could put a cinematic there and it wouldn't be the biggest loss, but they might as well have made it like
You play a little
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
When they do the whole cutscene cinematic, people feel they've lost control. They're no
Exactly.
longer part of the game anymore. All I'm doing is watching a movie that happens to have me moving a character occasionally. You've got to let them have the immersion.
with Skyrim, you can get through the Mages Guild without ever casting a spell.
Yeah.
You can
Yep.
become an
Stupid.
Archmage without knowing a single spell.
And that was the one that was-
no, you need the one. Well,
The
okay,
Ward.
if you
No,
Yeah,
have-
because if you're a Dragonborn, you
That's
don't even
true,
need to
that's
cast
true.
a spell to
Oh,
get
yeah.
into
if
the
you've
college.
done the main, if you've done the main
the first
storyline,
part of the main
Really?
storyline, yes, you just have to know Foos. That's
really?
it. You show them Foos, they're
Oh.
like, "Oh, you're Dragonborn. Here you go."
Here's what I hate. You cannot do the Civil War without finding out you're the dragon.
yeah,
I hate that, because you have to talk to the Jarl of Whiterun. He's like, okay, I won't talk to you about
Well-
these important political matters, and they will all wait.
They're
All
literally
enemies
besieging
will
my
wait.
city right now, but you
But-
have to go to the mountain.
But they'll wait. They actually wait. It's like, everyone will wait until you do this.
well,
That's
but,
so stupid.
but at the same point, that was the first game that I saw you guys playing that actually had, you could make decision choices that there was no going back. You went and to head to the Assassin's Guild, that was a one-way trip. You couldn't go back and do other things
Yeah,
once you
you
chose to
couldn't-
do that.
You couldn't be like a moral person, like a perfect person.
Yeah, no, but when you murder the Emperor, there are no repercussions for it. You just flat out murder the Emperor on his ship in
could've
Skyrim.
done that
Nothing
way
happens.
better.
The entire Empire just keeps functioning as normal. No notices about it, no, like, newspapers going, "Hey, the Emperor's dead,
Every
surprise!"
now and then a guard
because that was
comes
the biggest goddamn thing in Oblivion. That was the main point. Was
The
the
Emperor's
Emperor's
dead,
dead?
what are we
The
gonna do?
dragon,
Guys,
the dragon
the entire
fires.
Empire falls to shit
Yeah.
and Oblivion
The
gates
dragon
open.
fires become unlit, which
And hell
I
comes.
guess
Hell
I
comes
guess
to
the
it.
reason they kind of slayed over that is because you kind of take care of that in Oblivion, and like Mehrunes Dagon is just kind of like
is vanquished, but that's another thing in Skyrim. You can serve separate Daedric princes and they don't have a problem with it. Like, Daedric princes are super jealous of one another and super territorial, yet you, like, go to Mehrunes and you're like, "Hey, here's this free dagger, that's cool. Oh, here's some ebony mail, I like that. Oh, let's go on this mysterious hunt with this weird spirit creature, uh-huh." Like, none of these Daedric princes have a problem that you're serving everyone.
well,
Yeah.
and that's
I'm
that
going
was
to win you over to my side, though.
again that was a problem in Oblivion too, where it's like I can be the leader of the Fighters Mages Guild, the Gray Fox. I can also be
The listener.
Yeah, the listener of the Dark Brotherhood. And
the
all
whole
this
time
stuff.
you're catfolk calculating
actually-
about hairballs.
Yeah, and all this stuff.
You become the was it the Black Hand or like the speaker or like who was Lucien LeChamp?
He was the speaker.
Yeah, I think you become that in Oblivion.
No, you can get to listener.
You get to that first, then you become listener.
Because listener is more important than speaker. Because essentially the listener just
directly to the
speaks
mother.
to the Dark Mother, who speaks to
everyone.
No. It was the.
I was about to say Skyrim.
Who's above the Dark Mother?
Here's what I thought was really
the god.
That's kind of debated with the whole lore side of it.
It seems to be like they're on the same thing, but because the Dark Mother...
It's supposed to be, what's his name? Whoever controls the domain of death. But then, there's this theory, this game theory that it's like a different Daedric Prince that's posing as this god, and he's just like saying that, there's a contract for this guy just because... Sithis, yes, it's supposed to be Sithis.
Because I'm like, damn it, they say it all the time in the game.
You know what my least favorite part about the Skyrim Dark Brotherhood was at first it's just like, oh cool, they aren't actually affiliated with how the Dark Brotherhood was. They're just a group of assassins.
Yeah,
that should exist in a world of political intrigue and then it's just like, oh no, never mind, we were wrong to do that on our own. No, that was way cooler.
Well, the
thing
is,
the Thieves Guild, it's like, oh look, we're just a bunch of thieves.
Guild.
Oh no, we're actually kind of priests.
Yeah, I didn't really.
That was so
the Thieves Guild needs to get their luck back.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing about the Thieves Guild for me is that the storyline of the Thieves Guild doesn't carry you to Guildmaster. You have to grind their side quests to be able to become Guildmaster. Otherwise, you'll never be Guildmaster. And I didn't know that the first, 3 times I played through Skyrim. I had no idea that I wasn't Guildmaster by the time I got to the end of the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, because you get there and you're just like, hey, do you want to be the Guildmaster? And you're like, sure, that'd be awesome.
Well, you can be.
If you bring us all this stuff!
Oh my gosh.
Any good guildmaster has to buy his way to the top. Everybody knows that.
But, I was thinking about, the only thing with Skyrim and how, they started out being just a group of assassins, and then they were like, wait, no, we have to go through the Dark Brotherhood part of it. Coke.
Water.
Oh, I'll have a water.
The one thing the Black Sacrament, they would have no clue where to go to get contracts. That's the only thing.
Sort of. But like the Thieves Guild has the beggars as ears and everything
That's
like
true.
that.
And the thing is, the way you get your first contract is literally people are talking about it.
Astrid literally says that that's how they get their contracts without the Dark Mother, is
With
that they
word of
just
mouth.
hear about it.
They're just real assassins, and that was so cool.
And
all
then
of the stories in that game start off cool and beautiful and unique, and then cop out.
Because I'm
It's
pretty sure
kinda
it's just
true.
because they ran out of time, so they're just like,
They did.
okay, here's
Okay.
this Deus Ex Machina, because we can't figure
They
out how to end
spent
it.
so much time making the game, and I'm convinced that they just scrapped what they were
'Cause
working on.
I
and
think
rushed
it was
out.
like, here's all this cool stuff. We're gonna put it in place. Oh fuck, it's coming out then. Oh shit. What did they do in Oblivion? Just do that again.
They spent 4 years on concepts, 1 year on graphics, and 1 year on actually throwing the game together.
The DM had to go to work. Like, oh shit, this happened.
See ya.
Oh god, what else was wrong with Skyrim?
We can talk
much.
about
The
this.
Civil War had so much potential, and they fucked that one.
I love how the first comment of this podcast was, Skyrim's a decent game with a great modding community.
Again,
we got off of it, and now we're just hashing the shit out of it.
I will always say this, and it's because I compare it just by thought to Oblivion and Morrowind and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good game. It holds up on its own if you've never played another Elder Scrolls. If you
Yeah.
have, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, because I put so much time in Oblivion, it's not even funny, so...
And I remember that was like one of the first 360 games I ever saw. I went to your
Yeah.
house and I was like, holy shit.
This is the 360? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we got... Oblivion was the first 360 game I played.
And I know there were people who just broke cities using the duplication glitch. Gavin
so
from Rooster Teeth did it with the sigil stones, and each of them have a particle effect and a noise.
Sound. Yeah, it's scary.
So basically, he did it, got about, 1 frame every 3 seconds, fast traveled his way out of Bruma, and never went back. He was like, those people are fucked.
Well, he just unleashed a whole bunch.
You can go back a year later.
We don't know what happened. Because essentially all the sigil stones did in the Plane of Oblivion is stabilize the Plane of Oblivion.
They stabilized. They kept hell open on Earth.
Yeah.
So you
But
fill up a
stably.
city with them.
And the thing was, I
is a great game
believe
of Bruma.
one of the first sigil stones you get usually has chameleon on
Yeah.
it. So what I would always do, get that
Super
get that
character.
sigil stone,
Duplicate
that, put it on a bunch of gear, never would see me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd just go through the whole thing.
It was 20%. It was 20%
And they'd be like,
chameleon.
where the hell are
You
you?
could just have 5 pieces of gear,
Yeah.
20% chameleon.
And that's why, and I know it was for that reason that they took it out in Skyrim. But if they would have kept it in Skyrim, I would have just been like, hell yeah.
They should have.
Because honestly, getting your sneak up to level 100 was not that difficult, and it produced the same fucking effect.
It's way more overpowered because you get bonus damage.
Mhm.
Well, you got.
Oh my
bonus
god,
damage
the
in
bonus
Oblivion.
damage.
Oblivion, you got bonus damage also, but it was like a multiplier.
You could get like, I think something like 16 times damage with a sneak attack with a dagger.
No, it was more than that. It was
Really?
35.
Yeah.
Really?
35 or 40 times damage with a dagger, and like, I think the 16 was for like the bow.
Oh, okay.
Which is fucking insane.
Which weren't you able to increase that with a perk?
I think with mods.
No, like I think there was a sneak perk to increase your archery sneak attack.
I know I had a mod that kind of made it a little better. But I don't know if
there
that
are
was
definitely
vanilla.
regular archery perks.
I would
that
say
also do that.
I've played
So-
too much
Alright,
mod
I
in
have an
Skyrim to completely
real.
remember what vanilla was.
I remember one time I got a whole bunch of I was like, I could see Skyrim being cool as a survival game, and I got a whole bunch of hunting and
Yeah.
weather and like illness mods. Like if I was out in the cold rain naked, I would die.
Or here, you'd be arrested. Remember that.
Yeah. It was fun. That's the best thing about every Elder Scrolls game is there will always be a great modding community for it.
And then
Except
there
for
will
Elder
always be
Scrolls Online.
10,000 weird anime mods that really don't
Oh,
need to
yeah.
exist.
And then there are the porn mods, which are the best. But I mean,
so
you don't
much
need
time
that
invested
many.
into them. Like, who has enough time?
It's like you really made the genitals especially the penis. Why are you doing the? Nobody's getting it.
Slugs
It's
of
Slugs of Skyrim.
I
knew you were going there.
I got a great Skyrim mod that gave every character a giant, absurd schlong, and I could control it with the arrow keys.
It was the best because they weren't just big; they were muscly.
Yeah,
these are beefy penises.
You could pick between regular, thick, and muscular was one of the penis options, and I could control it with the
Just
arrow
a
keys.
veiny, thick dick, and I think they were like
around.
they were like a foot long to 18 inches flaccid.
Yeah, and then they were huge, and all Khajiit were pantless for some reason. It was hilarious.
Oh my god, do you
Free
remember?
wiener.
Do you remember whatever mod I think it was you got on your Skyrim that just made all the children naked and they just ran around naked all the time?
Yeah.
No, don't look at me.
It's like a tag along mod.
It was, I believe, no, I believe it was the mod, one of the mods that allowed me to kill anyone just had that effect, and I was just like, oh god, I can get rid of this mod, but I've worked on, this character's level 75, and I saved with this mod, so all of the children are permanently naked! And I was like, I can't remember, somebody randomly saw me play it, like somebody who wasn't one of the three of us, and I was like, okay, no, I didn't do this intentionally. This happened. I'm not a pedophile. If I was a pedophile, I would have a nude mod for the children. I hope to God those don't exist. I haven't looked. I don't know.
I haven't looked, but somewhere, someone has made it.
That's a given.
Oh man.
And the thing is, a lot of the mods that make you able to kill anybody, you have to install after you've done the first mission of...
Or you could not do that and it'll just break the game and it's great.
Yeah. It breaks that first mission. You can't get that the Dragon Soul from the first...
It sucks that you can't do that, and it sucks that you can't do the Civil War anymore, but I just don't want to be the Dragonborn.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool. I think the shouting is dumb.
Yeah.
I like the idea of you having inborn spells.
It was a great concept, but
Well, I like the idea of having inborn spells and like the Dragonborn being a mystical person.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what you do, like you could just be a
The
warrior.
Dragonborn does not need shouts to be the most incredible person who has ever lived. He's like the listener of the Dark Brotherhood, the master of the Thieves Guild, the leader of the Companions, is there anything he can't do? Oh, he's also the lead general of either the Rebellion or the Empire, depending on who you choose.
by the end, yeah.
He can't give Linda, or whatever her name is, a good attitude.
That's true. Lydia will
I'll
always be a
carry your
sarcastic-
burdens.
I'm sworn to carry your burdens.
Lydia will always be a
she doesn't
bitch.
say I will. She says I'm sworn to.
Yeah. But
Somehow I got
it's
into
the attitude of the, if I have to.
If I didn't have to, I would not.
That's
Lydia,
why every
there's a
time...
reason you're a house, Carl, because you're not good enough. Listen to me.
Every time I'm like, screw you, Lydia. Hey, Uthgerd, I'm gonna beat the shit out of me and you'll respect me for it.
Beat the shit out of me and you'll...
I'll beat the shit out of you, whatever.
We got what you meant.
Because that's the thing, it's like, she's just like, you couldn't
you
take
just
me.
punch her, and then, like, domestic violence
That's
leads to
another
the
thing.
greatest partnership in the world.
That's another thing. If you install kill everyone mod,
Oh
it
yeah,
breaks those.
then those fights immediately turn
Yeah.
into a crime.
Yeah.
It breaks those, which sucks.
Because normally you could just have a fist fight with someone, it's no problem. But
Weren't you guys the ones that were just a little while ago talking about how there's no repercussions to anything you do? But now you're upset because you actually get a repercussion on
But
beating
to be
somebody up?
fair, all you have to do is pay about 1,040 gold and you're clear.
No, 40 for the assault, 1,000 for killing. You can't get the murder.
So how much? Let me hit you right now.
like
registers to about $5.
I would say we were talking about it earlier. 3 days in prison and $1,000 fine.
Yeah.
Some bus driver there's a lady in the backseat giving him a ton of shit. He just stopped the bus and uppercutted her.
Was it and or?
What?
3 days in jail.
And 1,000, I believe.
Yeah. That's usually the way they work.
It's a lot.
Most of the time, when they bargain it down, they get rid of the jail time.
Okay.
And keep the fine.
To be fair...
Okay, I shouldn't say that's a lot for assault. Well, yeah, I should. That's a lot for assault. I think of assault as, like, hitting someone. I think if you, like, sit there beating someone, that's battery.
Yeah,
That's battery,
it is.
Yeah. I don't think assault should be
Assault is just a threat that you can carry out. It counts as assault. You
Yeah.
don't even have to really touch them. It's just you have to make them believe that you could have if you wanted to.
Or if you're in Florida, they'd just shoot you.
Well, whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Skyrim. That was the most fun thing I did was just be a hunter.
Yeah, we got all those hunting and survival mods, and we would just shoot. They'd say there's an elk, we'd like sneak up on it and shoot it, and you have to spend a few hours skinning it and like
that
cleaning all
one
the
mod,
meat
yeah.
and stuff.
I remember
Tywin Lannister.
Yeah.
And
you can set up like a tent. You can build a tent and like set up like a whole camp if you want to, or you can just have a quick bedroll.
my favorite part of that was like, screw the deer. I always just went and killed a bunch of mammoths. I was just like,
but until you could.
yeah, I was gonna say true, but I'd just be
part
like,
of the Skyrim astronaut program.
Yep.
yeah, and then it's like,
Best
hi
glitch
giant,
ever. You get hit by a giant and it just sends you up to the roof.
because they have a club and they
There's
just whack the ground with
some weird thing screws up the hitboxes and
Launches you straight up.
I gotta say, the giants aren't that muscular in Skyrim. They don't hit the ground that hard. Like, I don't think hitting the ground ever should hurt you.
In the ground, there's always little teeter-totters, so when they hit...
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
Role playing in Skyrim is a good time.
Yeah.
Like when we had that
You
Ribbon
captured
Home mod.
them?
Yes.
Oh, it was so
I
hard to
decided
roleplay
to
with that, but it was such a
capture
good mod.
Skyrim, so I went to all the abandoned forts all over the place and just put troops on the walls and like posted them at different points. And it kind of broke my game a little bit because there was so many AI to deal with that my game was like,
can't.
But it was so much fun. I spent so much time just setting them up in perfect formations.
It sucked when your character stopped working.
Yes, it did, because I eventually put too many and got stuck inside of a city and everything broke, but it was fun while it lasted.
That's why you have multiple save points.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, I know it's kind of like a preference thing. I know in Skyrim and Fallout they have it where you can just click a new save every time. It doesn't take that much more time, but I always end up overwriting.
Mm-hmm.
It annoys me to just have this giant list of saves.
I love quick save.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Mass Effect, I just press F6, it quick saves, and it just
F6 is quick save?
for Mass Effect.
It's usually pretty universally F5, and F6 can be I've seen F6 be quick load, and I've seen F9 be quick load.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I've seen F9 be quick save and F10 be quick load. I guess any of
It
the
might be
FTs.
F6 is quick load. I might be mixing it up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that like you can just quick save just by tap. Okay, I quick saved. I can go into this dangerous area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that in Fallout all the time.
That's what I always hate about save point based games.
Yeah.
You know, I have to get to this part or I lose everything.
Which, in some cases, like, I guess that's one of the things about Dark Souls that makes it difficult is you have to get to the fireplaces.
I made a character. John hates this character because it sucks. I love him. He's a big stupid swamp person named Gunk with a tiny little head.
In what?
In Dark Souls.
Really?
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I was like a pyromancer? But like I did fireballs and like mixed combat with it, which I still think is cool. And you have to choose one or the other, or you're just not either. And it's hilarious because he's just so bad. I'm really good at killing the Black Knights in that game, which are super hard to kill. I thought it was really funny because like Connor and John tried killing him a few times, and then I like fought him, and I had to get him to aggro to me, and then I had to just run because they're super fast and scary. And I just he was in this big watchtower, and I climbed up and got his attention by throwing something at him and missing. And the idea was to hit him.
Whatever works.
And I ran downstairs so fast that he didn't have a chance to like get around the corner before his AI picked me up as outside the tower, and he just jumped off and killed himself. And I was like, "All right."
Just look at plebs.
Games in general talking about the horrible AI they throw in.
Yeah.
I hate the AI on DDO that your henchmen don't know enough to not cut through lava and acid. Hello, it's pretty simple.
I'll heal myself in the acid.
Yes, I'll stand here and just keep healing myself.
I'll survive.
I won't go 3 feet to the left. No.
I'll stay alive if I keep healing myself until I run out of spell points.
Yep.
And I'm useless.
Okay, assuming none of you have seen Assassin's Creed, they finally made the AI a little bit better.
I've seen some.
When you kill someone, even with the hidden blade, from 5 feet away, they actually hear them being stabbed. It is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. The AI are not deaf, they are only blind.
Wow, that's good. That's much better than it has been.
So,
Best AI,
where is he?
Best AI so far is Mountain Blade.
Oh my god, Mountain Blade. It's like, Jesus Christ, there's this thing in my way! Ah!
Oh, my favorite part is the guy's like, I'm sitting there chasing, I'm like, their army is running towards my army, and I'm just kind of behind them, with my sword, and they're like, and letting me kill them. They continue to run backwards towards
the one I saw you earlier, you're sitting there, there's a whole stream of them going by, and you're hitting every fifth one with his axe, and they just keep on running past you. These guys are idiots.
This is really routine.
Well, I have to go this way. I can't stop.
I gotta follow orders.
God, the AI could use such an overhaul in that game. They are just so stupid.
One thing
and I can understand you don't want it too complicated when someone's first learning.
Yeah.
Fine. Make the AI so it learns as you do. Mm-hmm. When you get up to a high of level, have the AI kick up to the next level.
That's why I hate zone-based level, like, I understand they have to exist in an MMO, but like in a game, zone-based stuff is just shit.
I like it, and I like it because it's sort of like it sets the ground for it. It's like, oh, and I don't like when it sometimes WoW does it because it has to, but sometimes WoW does it like, oh, they're just higher level.
Yeah,
they're still just bandits, but they're higher level. It's like that's kind of weird, but
they're better bandits because you went into an area where better bandits live.
Yeah, in like Morrowind they had it.
And they're pandas.
Yeah, yeah. In Morrowind they had it set so that it was like, this place is full of higher level things because they're different monsters.
Yeah, and I understand that, and like that's why I kind of thought in Fallout, a death claw is just gonna fuck you up. Whether like
my newest character in Fallout, every time I try to hoof it somewhere, I get attacked by one of those Yao Guai things. And they're so scary and strong.
I've seen a Yao Guai maybe twice in Fallout.
Every time I've fought like 5 now with this character.
In 3?
Yeah. And I just get attacked by him all the time. And it's so
You're in the
scary.
wrong area.
Yeah. Luckily, my character is very strong. She's a whiskey-drinking brawler.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that a different
she's Irish.
one?
Oh. Yeah. She is. She's red-haired and green eyes.
I don't know. Is that the same one you made a lot? Do you just have a thing where your characters always have to have a drinking problem?
Yes.
Or a substance abuse problem?
I always give him advice because it adds difficulty to the game.
It does,
Which the game's already difficult without it.
Makes him quirky.
Yeah, it makes him quirky. Also, I like the idea of just a whiskey-drinking brawler.
I always do like having a character that is not perfect. I always, especially in D&D, I like a character that has a flaw, something that's always weak in.
Like Zoolander, I can't turn left.
Whatever, yeah.
That's
a great article in Dragon Magazine years ago that talked about how do you play stats when they're low or bad. You know, and it was talking about, basically had like the surfer dude for the fighter because he had like a 3 intelligent and a 3 wisdom dude.
What's
hey,
up, dude?
Hey, I cannot cross this lake without taking off my armor. Okay, get to the other side. Yeah, guys, you're busy. I get it. But I gotta polish my armor first. Okay, I'll get there. Gotta play that stuff up. Those are the characters I like. I don't like the characters, no matter how many times, when I was first playing D&D, it was miraculous. I would, every time I rolled, always get all 6s on every stat. It was amazing. I never understood how I did it, but I did. Anyway, low stats are good. Having something wrong with them. The whole Indiana Jones is afraid of snakes. Mm-hmm. Even though what he did in most of the movies was completely opposite of what that really would look like, but that's not the point.
I think it would be funny if he was afraid of snakes and there just weren't snakes in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just put it in there for no reason.
I'm not going to go somewhere with snakes. I look that up before I go.
Adventures of the Young Indiana Jones, the TV show they had.
Oh, man.
River Phoenix, I think it was, played.
Was it good?
It wasn't. It was pretty good, actually. But, it was basically him growing up and how he got into the whole thing. And they had, when the show started, he loved snakes. He was fine with snakes. Until he fell into a boxcar packed with them. Then he was afraid of snakes. I'm glad they wrote it to at least give a backstory of why. Not just he's afraid of snakes.
Snakes are gross!
Yeah. My mother was afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
When my sister put a rubber snake under her car seat one time. My mother just about killed her. So it's just that. My brother Danny had his pet snake that my mother never knew because my mother was 5'1.25". The snake was on top of the terrarium that was 6 feet in the air. So it got out one time, and my brother Chip let my mother know the snake was out. My mother was not happy. Yeah, let's just go down that.
Oh yeah, the Baldur's Gate games, 1 and 2. If your character's intelligence is lower than 8 is the standard stat.
Yeah, that's what normal humans have.
Yeah, if it's lower than 8,
you're
considered illiterate, and everyone will treat you as such, and it's hilarious.
I think
haven't played that one. That would be
Fallout
funny.
is the
Fallout
best
the
for that.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a low intelligence, it's amazing. You just give really stupid responses
I didn't
to
know
everything.
Fallout did that, and I'm so glad it does.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say Fallout 3 does it too, but I know I was watching Sips
Vegas?
from the Yogscast. No, Sips from the Yogscast played the original
Oh,
Fallout. which that one, like it plays well, but I could not play a game in that style where it's a top-down. You can. I hate click movement. I hate it.
I love RuneScape.
Clickbait. I like RuneScape. I love it. If I could do WASD in RuneScape, it'd be amazing. I cannot do point and click. It's just shitty.
FIFA. Why did they think that was a good default mechanic?
That's
the default movement in FIFA is you drag the mouse.
Yeah, that's right.
That's funny.
Like
That's
right on
So
the
awful. It's a terrible keybind. Why did
You
they
would
ever
think that
decide
would be like for your kicking. Like,
Yes.
you just use that for kicking.
But like instead, you just have delayed reactions to everything. You can't react to anything because you're always behind because you're always dragging the person from place to place. So I had to take it off and put it onto keyboard and
Yeah,
mouse,
you have to-
which makes it literally impossible to do certain parts of the game because you can't rebind the keys at all. The game will get confused and just leave it as an empty keybind instead.
Ew.
You can't bind it to anything else. That game is an awful PC port. It's terrible.
Talking about PC port wise, you guys were talking about how bad some of the things run and all that. I was laughing at the one article that was talking about the demos they were giving at some of the shows and all that. They were lying to the people that were watching on what it actually was. And people pointed out, see that little thing on the bottom corner of the screen? You wouldn't have that if it was the machine that they said they were running this thing on. It's like, oh, so what's it really running on? What does it really take to make it look that good?
Yeah.
Awful PC ports. They made a video game for the London Summer Olympics. It was made for the 360.
That was 2012?
I think so, yes.
I think I
I'm pretty
remember
sure
that
was
game.
2012.
I think they did a few Let's Plays in that.
But they made it for the 360, which has, A, B, X, Y for their controls.
Yeah.
When they moved it to PC, they left the controls as A, B, X, Y. A, B, X, Y.
Yeah.
for movement?
Yeah.
Yeah, for controlling the games that you have to do, it's A, B, X, Y.
WASD. It's WASD.
And there are certain games that, regardless of the console you play them on, they're controller games. Any driving game, and Andy said, "Oh, I love playing Need for Speed, WASD." Can't do it because it's like, unlike you, Andrew, I actually play with the throttle a little bit because I played Forza, which is not. All right, hold this down and steer.
It's gas or no gas.
Yeah, it's on or off, which is perfect for a keyboard.
Assassin's Creed is not meant to be played with a keyboard.
Yeah.
I always do because I'm too cheap to buy a hookup for.
And it's not bad, but it's just an investment.
Mhm.
It's something you have to spend money on. And the only reason I got one was because I bought Dark Souls, and then I was like, you don't need a controller to play this game. You need a controller to play
I thought the Xbox controllers could be, you can get a driver to run them on something.
Not the wireless ones
Not
with
the
an
wireless,
adapter.
okay.
They need a wired one.
Okay.
Which, thankfully, those controllers will start getting cheaper now
Oh,
with
yeah.
the Xbox One, as well, which is wonderful.
I would say, I think I got...
God, those things used to be $60 a piece. Those were awful.
They're like
days.
30 maybe now.
That's still
Probably.
way too.
Oh yeah, it's still way too much. They're selling games. I think I saw some random. What game was it that I saw that was like an original Xbox Xbox 360 title? It was still like $40. It's like, really? You're not gonna sell that thing? Wait, you're gonna sell that thing, but come on.
Yeah. The difference on the controllers also, jumping over that side now. I like DDO. I hated Neverwinter.
Mm-hmm.
Because the controls were all different. They didn't have anything standardized for finding, short of the WASD to move around. I couldn't think of, okay, what are the shortcuts to activate this? How do I jump to this? How do I bring up an inventory? It just bothers me when they're that far different. I understand you want to be your own special way. And if your way really works well in your game, great. But if you're doing it just to be different, I hate you.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no reason that you should have it different just to be different.
I would say
Neverwinter.
apparently it's still a thing.
It is, yeah.
It is. It's the one holding on to the 4.0 way of looking at things. Neverwinter Legends.
Yeah.
No, Sword Coast Legends.
Yeah.
That's the one that's coming out. That's going to be an open environment that I'm looking forward to trying it, to running a game on it. Actually, they'll have a DM that can run a game for you guys on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it's going to be that kind of open setup.
They kind of mess with that in Neverwinter. The only reason I was really into it for a while was there was a level creation system.
Really?
Like you could create a level and create sort of a story for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the funniest thing was you could create the dialogue for the NPCs in it.
Nice.
And I just always, cause I was playing it with my cousin, and I would just have all of them trash talking him.
Yeah.
Just him as a person, just like, ew, Caleb sucks. Like all of them said that. Or just saying things that don't make sense. That is also fun. Or like referencing pop culture.
What?
Well, it's always good to metagame.
Yeah. What game was it? Was it Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube? Maybe it was on PS2 as well. That was like the open world Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, that game was amazing.
I had Spider-Man 2 on original Xbox, and it was so good.
That's one you had, wasn't it? With the Black Cat was one of the things, and Doc Ock was the enemy.
Yeah.
I never had that one.
I remember you playing it.
I never remember playing that one.
I think, no, what you had was you had a free demo version of it on the PC, I think it was.
Probably right. Yeah, I did. No, that was a different Spider-Man game. What game was
3?
that? Okay, well, it had Doc Ock, so it had to be a 2.
I was thinking it was 2, and I think it was
might
just,
have been
it was
2.
a sample portion of it. You got Doc Ock, you got Rhino, and like I said,
Rhino
Black Cat
was in it too.
but it wasn't the full game.
No,
but
I
it was
definitely
enough to-
don't remember playing what I watched you play one time.
You probably watched me play 3 at one point.
I don't think it was 3. I thought,
Maybe
I
it
thought
could have
was
been
2.
2.
Spider-Man 2 was super good.
Yeah. 3 was. They kept it pretty close. There are a few things that I didn't like as much about it, but it's still like if I got back into it, it'd probably be about the same kind of experience. Which at some point, I don't know, I want to do like a tournament type thing. We definitely need to do a Quidditch tournament.
Oh, jeez.
The game is just fun.
You know you're gonna lose to me.
Maybe.
Okay, which one of the Harry Potters is that under? I remember 2 had a Quidditch thing on it.
No, there's a game.
Harry Potter
Harry Potter
separate
Quidditch
game
World
just
Cup.
for that.
It's so great.
It's
like playing
It's the
FIFA,
only
but
sports
Harry Potter.
game I've ever just loved.
It's like
Well, it's three-dimensional. That's part of it. So
Yeah.
it's like FIFA, but
Three-dimensional.
in the air.
and way cooler.
Smaller goals.
I really wish that had gotten a good solid sequel.
Now, do they actually run it real Quidditch? Remember, you have actually 2 different games going on at the same time. So is that the way that one runs, or is it just the regular game running and the snitches totally separate?
2 separate games.
The seeker.
Oh,
looking
what
snitch.
ends
Because
up happening?
you have the ones that are out, the balls that are out to try to kill
Yeah.
you, the ones you're trying to score with,
Yeah.
and then the one the seeker's going
essentially
after.
what happens is you
don't find the seeker
each
for a while.
team has their own bar. At the beginning of the match, both of your bars are at the sides of the TV, and you can build up your bar with style points.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's 2 halves of a snitch on each bar, and once they meet, the seekers start. The more style points and things you do in the match,
I think you did
the
this-
more boost you get.
I think you did this unconsciously, but it's usually what happens when you play against other players. You had it meet like this as opposed to in the middle, because you usually just get all of the points all the way to.
Oh yeah, I went like this. Yeah, because usually it's like me, them. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I get all the boost. But yeah, the more style points you get, the more boost you have as the seeker. And what ends up happening is the snitch goes around and it leaves this golden trail that you can build up boost if you follow
Follow
that
the
trail.
trail as close
But
as
if
you
you
can.
get off, it starts depleting your bar,
It was
and then
really
you get.
good.
Which is funny because you can shortcut it. I mean, if it's going around like this, I can.
Yeah, but the idea is it's so small that
Yeah.
you want to try and.
And the
keep
thing
an eye
is,
on
I
it.
think, honestly,
But-
with how the snitch is, if you tried doing that, it'd just divert course anyway. So the best you can try to do is follow its path and hope that you're faster.
Also, that's a great way to work a mechanic in for it.
True.
And it's just like your seekers don't ever show like you just kind of see them flying around up there.
Right, and that's why I was asking. How do you? Even with FIFA, you're only controlling one player at a time. The rest are pretty much on autopilot, and you hope to pass to it, and then you take control of that one.
And usually
you
what happens...
You can't do that when a Seeker's doing something totally different than everything else on the field.
Yeah, the Seeker's just an end game, or an end match thing, where...
Or
in
lore... Match, but it's not like
in lore, it's an end match.
Well, no, it is an end match.
In the Hogwarts thing, what I mean by end match is whoever catches the snitch wins.
Oh, no, it does end the game.
A lot of... Yeah, it does end the game, but in a lot of things, especially the lore and in a lot of games, whoever catches the snitch does end up winning.
But the 7 points for it is
then there are games like the games we play where it's like, well, I'm already 200 points up.
And that's something the movies and the books never talked about was, it ends the game immediately. If you're that far down, your Seeker's actually blocking is what the only game advantage is. I mean, you're not going after it yourself because I don't want until the team catches up.
Yeah. I like that. I liked in Goblet of Fire where they made a bet that Bulgaria would catch the snitch, but Ireland would win.
Oh yeah,
it's like Ireland had like really good chasers or
beaters or
that's kind of how I always play that game. I'm just gonna score so much that I don't need the snitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say really it's best to just secure the win and hope you get the snitch, other than be like, "Fuck, I gotta catch this thing."
I secure the win and just not deal with the stress of trying to catch the snitch.
See, depending on who we could get in it...
I don't care about having a crushing defeat.
Yeah. Depending on who we get in a tournament, I'm pretty sure it would not be too difficult to figure out how that bracket was going to end. It would definitely most likely end with the two of us in the semifinals, just because we played that game a good bit.
With me winning.
That's where it would be. That's where the tipping point would be. I think
I'll play
I will say you do
and use my special.
No, Australia is off the fucking market. That's a 30-point special. That is bullshit. Every other team is 10 points, and at most there are a couple who are 20.
Which is still bullshit.
Yeah, we need to figure out which teams are not 10-point specials and just clear them off the roster.
Yeah. My favorite thing about that game is that the American Stadium is a football field set in the middle of
a cornfield.
In a cornfield, and the houses are like 1800s.
And then they're just like pumpkins around. It's like, is this really what British people think America is? Just a cornfield?
There's like Salem-style barns.
Realize in the World Cup in Goblet of Fire, it was the middle of nowhere they set the thing up. So that is the idea, is that we're going to have this where nobody else is around. That's the basis of it. So, hence why you had to introduce the port key, which made no sense later on when they had it, but it fit for trying to fill the story.
Yeah. My son!
Turn the guy into a vampire.
My boy!
You guys did that so often that night.
It's a really funny part.
All I know is to turn the kid into a vampire, okay? He was perfectly good till then, and then...
God. But, I don't know. I'd like to do that one. I would like to do a free-for-all, like, Halo thing, but I know Kevin's gonna win.
I played a lot of Halo in my day.
I could definitely make it entertaining.
If I would say, if you could find us.
Yeah, like...
which one's up? Which one? How do I look up?
I have no coordination with controllers. That's just the way it is. I have 2 fingers that work at any given time. Hence why, like I said, when we were playing that time, my name was Dead Meat. That was just a given. It was...
It'd be cool to play teams, and then have, like, the top player from each team
team up with the other top player.
Well, maybe.
That has historically not worked out for us very well.
I know. Because it's like, what was it a few times? Like,
myself and Angela.
If we do Halo 3,
because she's just the worst.
If we do Halo 3, I have
Ben,
If we do Halo 3, I have a very strong fighting chance.
Halo. Do any of us have 3?
I have 3.
Okay.
You have 3. I'm not
Three is
saying you
great.
did.
I would say I have 4.
Oh, you have OSD. Never mind.
ODST.
Oh, yeah, whatever it was.
3 is really good.
We need to put another game out with that title on, but we don't want to. We don't have any other relationship to it.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
How was 4? I never really got around to it.
4's good.
Okay.
I really like 4.
Is it solid multiplayer?
Yeah. It's like it's like Reach Plus.
Okay.
They just improved on Reach basically.
Does it still have the armor abilities?
Yes.
Okay.
They made them a little bit more reasonable.
Okay.
I think that the armor, I think all that's cool. I would like to do it in 3, because it's still the regular style of combat.
If we were gonna do it in 3, I'd want to do it in 2. But is that an Xbox title or is that 360?
That's an Xbox
Okay.
title, yeah.
So yeah, we'd have to do it in
They
3.
do have a remastered version.
I don't want to buy the Master Chief
Yeah, I
Edition.
know.
I don't like. I would like to, just don't want to spend the money on it. Which apparently they added in 2 maps that were only in the PC version.
Huh.
I didn't know that they were PC exclusives,
didn't know
but there
that
were apparently. And then to apologize for how shit it was when it launched, they are giving away ODST, I believe ODST redone for free.
Why are they remastering ODST?
Because they can't
That
get anyone
game
to
is
take it. They already
instant
paid money
classic.
on
That
it.
game is not ugly, on top of the fact that it's really not worth a remaster.
It was an instant classic.
It's got
Everyone
a
bought
really
it when
good
it came out.
story,
You get the
but
mythic
that's
pack.
about it.
No, wait, it's...
It added in Firefight. Firefight is
That's
gosh,
true.
but
That's true.
it
Me and-
really did not warrant its own game.
My
It
younger
should
brother and I
Firefight
got
just
really
should
good
have
at
been
Firefight.
something they patched into Reach and just
My,
Like I said, it was a title that, well, we have this title, we don't know what to do with it. If we change the graphics around, we can go ahead and market it as the same thing as... It's not related otherwise.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Nathan Fillion was the captain, the ODST
Yes,
captain.
I think he was.
And that's why he just looked like Nathan Fillion. I always wondered, I was like, that guy looks really familiar.
Who's
What's his name, like Buck or something?
Yeah.
I never played ODST.
Idiot.
Like the Mummy.
Nathan Fillion, Firefly,
Never seen Firefly.
The Mummy.
yeah, the Mummy.
What else is he in?
He's in that
No,
new
Brendan
show.
Fraser was in The Mummy.
Yeah, I was saying,
Oh,
like,
is it?
I don't yeah, it's Brendan Fraser.
Shit.
So he's the lead
I
on
am
it.
really confused.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
definitely Brendan Fraser.
Alright, that show Castle or Castles or something like
Castle.
Oh,
I know who
okay.
you mean now when you say
Yeah.
Castle.
that. Yeah.
So,
Uh,
another take on wanting to be Sherlock Holmes without saying it's Sherlock Holmes.
I would say, yeah, I have no clue. It's not really all that important.
it's really important.
You can look it up on the thing here, you know. You have to-
No.
Okay. We're having that TV show with the guy that was Mr. Incredible on Fantastic Four, or Mr. Fantastic, whatever it was.
There. Oh, that's like a that's a
Leon.
really fucked up picture of him. Like, 'cause it's really stretched.
I can kind of see how you'd see that as Brendan Fraser.
No,
But
it's right.
I understand. I'm just.
I can't see the Brendan Fraser short of the hair, and that's about it. But
I could picture him in The Mummy. I don't think he would do it, but I could
I
picture him.
haven't
in
seen the Mummy in
Guardians of the Galaxy? What was he in
it. I
that?
haven't seen that.
oh, no.
Oh, he's Canadian.
He's another one of
Oh,
Reddit's-
he's one of them.
Reddit's favorite people.
Oh yeah, he's in Firefly.
I don't know.
Now look at your recommended videos. It's all Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
No, there's one Hulk up there.
Yeah.
It's the Hulk we watched part of the other day. Which
God,
is
that was so
the
bad.
Hulk being Bruce Banner being bullied by NFL players in the locker room. So it was basically taking him back to junior high, and they keep snapping towels at him until they drive him into the steam room and lock him in.
And then proceed to try to murder him.
Yes, they lock him into the steam room and then crank the steam up as high as they can go.
And it got up
guard
like
the door.
180 by the
What
time.
was 200 something?
Really?
Yeah.
By the time he busted he just reached through the door.
He reached through the door, grabbed them, and then threw them and the door off.
Is that before he becomes the Hulk? Is that
No, that was
No.
Okay, thank God.
He took basically their cop out to actually show him transforming was pushing him in the steam room, having him back in the steam room, changing, and then seeing him right up against the window, and then he just grabs them. The funny thing was, as he pushed them on, he grabbed them through the door and pushed them, just had him through the door and pushed them. Throwing backwards. I was like, man, he really, when he was pushing them, it didn't go up or down at all. It went straight. It was like it was on wheels or something.
And the worst part was that you can almost see it in the picture of it up there. He's in a steam room. The green makeup is starting to wear off in the steam already on the picture. Yeah.
Apparently, people didn't like the Edward Norton version of The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I heard.
I think that was because Edward Norton didn't like the Edward Norton version of The Incredible Hulk. I thought he did an alright job on it myself.
I think he doesn't have it in him to do a bad job.
Yeah.
I don't think he would just go out, oh, I don't like this, I'm not going to try. I think if he's going to get paid for something, he's going to work at it.
Yeah.
Probably dead, but I was to say, we're going to be in the wide for a good part in the middle because that one went dead and that one filled up the internal memory with the SD card on it, not formatted or set to go to the other one. So I don't know how long that either of those went, but at least we'll always have the wide.
Yeah. Well, until you fill up the hard drive.
Well, hell, that might happen.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, on that.
Think it's good?
Yeah.
Done?
Soup.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be
Hope
back
you enjoyed
at
us,
some
and we'll help you
point.
better next time.
Yeah, probably, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Might be worse.
Who are we kidding? Who's gonna watch this? No one cares.
Alright. Thanks,
They will
Dad.
come back and watch it after we get our really good ones done. About
Alright.
10, 20
Just
shows
for
in,
you,
they'll
Bill.
go back to look.
Next one's gonna be good, Bill. I promise.
Thanks,
There's
Dad.
one guy out there, one guy who's like, holy shit.
These people are
My
great.
whole life is a lie.
Alright, thanks for watching.
But I thought that was good. She was quirky.